So today's topic is points and crossings. Basically, points and crossings actually which is important to crossing the railway track, crossing one railway track to another railway track, or to change the railway track when vehicle is going through a particular line. The changing of that particular line to another line, we have need points as well as crossings, and which is only terms or terminology is applicable for railway engineering. Or in other case, when my engine or my vehicle or my the whole train with bogies needs to change its track from one track to another track, or to cross one track to another track. This is called points and crossing, and details of points and crossing will be discussed. Things are simple. You have seen in railway line during your journey, or uh, beside the railway line, if you have ever visited in beside the railway line, you have observed what is points, what is crossing. Most of us, we are normally observed during our railway through our train when passes these type of points and crossings. We have observed such things from the book. Normally I will dictate the things, and the main important of points and crossings are the figure and pictures. Points and crossings mainly based on pictures, figures, schematic diagram. Without figure, picture, you cannot explain, or you cannot give any simple idea to anybody what is points, what is crossings. Okay, even in your exam also, basically theory based exams, you have need to draw these points and crossings your on your paper. Either without these things you cannot uh, derive, or you cannot give any the basic idea to anybody what is points and crossings. From the book, the whatever written in the Agarwal book already, points and crossings are provided to help transfer railway vehicles from one track to another, and the tracks may be parallel to, diverging from, or converging with each other. Maybe it's diverging or converging with another railway track. Points and crossings are necessary because the wheels of railway vehicles are provided with inside flanges, and therefore they require this special arrangement in order to navigate their way on these railways. Already we have seen, or we know, the flanges of railway wheel is in the inside side of the track. Okay, flange, the projected part of the wheel, projected circular part of the wheel, vertical projected part of the wheel, which is normally exist in the inside side of the railway track. And for that purpose, these points and crossings are required to provide with corrective measure and with some special considerations. And for that purpose, we have this chapter, points and crossings. The points or switches aid to diverting the vehicles, and the crossings provide gaps in the rails so as to help the flanged wheels to roll over them. A complete set of points and crossings along with lead rails is called turnout. So one of the part under points and crossings, that is turnout. Turnout, or the details or the constitution of turnout, we can explain with this figure. Normally what we do, in the classroom, or even normally during practice, normally we try to draw this picture. This picture is important to draw. Sometimes we need to explain with this picture. So the practice of drawing this picture is important. So you will try in your home. You should draw this picture, because hand drawing of this picture is important. Okay. So some important terms in these points and crossing will come first. The turnout. Turnout. What is turnout? It is an arrangement of points and crossing with lead rails, by means of which the rolling stock may be diverted from one track to another. Okay. So in this figure we will get the lots of terms, lots of things which is directly involved with turnout, or the points and crossing will come into picture. What is the points and crossing, and what is the turnout? It will be clear from the picture. So in this picture, some parts of turnouts are given. Suppose set of switches. You can see switches are given. Throw switch. Another switch is only one switch is given, because this is the simple figure of turnout. So throw switch, one switch is given. Then crossing. Acha. Various constitution of the assembly. Suppose set of switch, under set of switch, a pair of stock rails, under a pair of stock rail, a pair of tongue rails. Okay, stock rail, then tongue rail. This is tongue rail, already identified by arrow. This tongue rail, this is stock rail. Okay, this is the start of stock rail, this is the end of stock rail. The throw of switch क्या है sir? Switch will come. Wait, switch will come. Switch is the this is the key, actually key, which is actually act as a to change this rail from one track to another. So the purpose or the significance of the switch will come, but switch also one of the part of turnout. So first is as per the theory, first thing is written, that is switch. Second thing is crossing. Under crossing, under switch, pair of stock rails are there, pair of tongue rails are there, a pair of heel blocks, you can see in the figure, pair of heel blocks are there, and several slide chairs, two or more stretcher bars, and gauge type ladder. But important thing is, lots of things are written in the book, but important things are stock rail. Stock rail is important. This is the stock rail. This portion is stock rail. Okay, this is the stock rail. Pair of tongue rail. This is tongue rail. This portion is tongue rail. This is tongue rail. This portion is tongue rail. This is stock rail. Okay. Then this thing is important. Pair stock rails and tongue rail under set of switches. After switch, crossings. Under crossing, nose consisting of a point rail and splice rails, two wings rails and two check rails. Then this is the wing rail. Wing rail is the one of the part of turnout sections. Wing rail. Then after wing rail and two check rails, this is the check rail. Okay, this is the check rail. This is called check rail. The name of the different elements or different sections of railway, like stock rail, tongue rail, wing rail, check rail. Okay, these are the terms which are very important in turnout section as a basic knowledge. With basic knowledge of railway engineering, or as a civil engineer, we have basic idea of railway engineering. Okay, or we are going to achieve the basic idea of railway engineering. But these check rails are always same throughout the invention. These check rails are using in the railway engineering, or in our Indian Railway, check rail, wing rail, this tongue rail and stock rail. These are the common features. These are common things which are normally these elements, these sections are used in railway or in railway track. But other things, the technology, the setup, the construction, all over has been have been changed over the time. So for as a basic knowledge, for basic knowledge and the beginner or in the initial stage, we should know the basic things which are important. As per my based of my knowledge, the important things are the stock rail. Stock rail still it is using in railway. Stock rail, tongue rail, check rail, wing rail. These are the important things. And with this diagram, with this figure, you should mention these things. What is the stock rail? What is the tongue rail? What is wing rail? What is check rail? Okay. Acha. There is another thing, that is lead rails. The 4 sets of lead rails are in the picture. These are the lead rail. Okay, this is the lead rail. This is called lead rail, and this is also lead rail. Okay, but this is wing rail. This is wing rail. This is lead rail. This is also wing rail. This is also lead rail. So compared to lead rail, this wing rail, check rail, tongue rail and stock rail, these are the important things. Achha, direction of turnout, another one of the part of turnout, direction. A turnout is designated as a right hand or left hand. Okay, right hand or left hand turnout depending on whether it diverts the traffic to the right or to the left. Okay, in figure the turnout is right hand turnout. Okay, because it diverts the traffic towards the right side. And another figure is there, this figure. In this figure is showing the left hand turnout. Okay, this is the left hand turnout and this is the right hand turnout. This is the details of turnout or constitution of turnout is given. So and as well as the right hand turnout has given has shown in this picture. The direction of the point or turnout is known as the facing direction. If a vehicle approaching the turnout or a point has to first face the thin end of the switch. Okay, the direction of a point or turnout is known as the facing direction. This is the facing direction. Is a vehicle approaching the turnout or a point has to first face the thin end of the switch. This is the facing direction. The direction is trailing direction. So another important term, this is facing direction is the important term in turnout section. The direction is trailing direction if the vehicle has to negotiate a switch in a trailing direction. That is, the vehicle first negotiate the crossing and then finally traverse the switch from its thick end of its thin end. Therefore, when the standing at the toe of switch, if one looks in the direction of the crossing, is called the facing direction, and the opposing direction is called the trailing direction. So when train will come from the left side, it is called facing direction, and when the train will come from this right direction, this is called trailing direction. This is the difference between facing direction and trailing direction. So some important terms again I am repeating: this tongue rail, stock rail, wing rail, check rail, and this facing direction and the trailing direction. When train will come this direction is called facing direction. When train will come from this direction or from this direction is called trailing direction. When train will come from the right direction. Now, therefore, some details of the tongue rail is given. It is tapered movable rail made of high carbon or manganese steel to withstand wear. So you should know what is tongue rail. Okay, shape of the tongue rail is important. The position, the place where it is actually is placed, this thing is important. Tongue rail. Okay, some details you should know, what is tongue rail, what is stock rail, but you should keep in your mind where it is placed, and the shape of the tongue rail, shape of the stock rail, shape of the wing rail, shape of the check rail, maybe shape of the lead rail, what is the facing direction, what is the trailing direction. These basically shape, direction, these are the important for turnout section. Okay, overally I should say that this complete figure you should keep in your mind. Okay, during practice, for exam or somewhere, when we talk about the turnout, when we talk about the tongue rail, okay, when we talk about the stock rail, this figure is important. Tongue rail, it is tapered movable rail made of high carbon or manganese steel or wooden wire. It is thicker end is attached to the running rail. A tongue rail is also called switch rail. Okay, tongue rail also called switch rail, but tongue rail name, this name is famous. This tongue rail is popular. Only tongue we can say tongue rail. Stock rail, it is running rail against which tongue rail operates. Okay, this is the stock rail. Actually this is called stock rail. Crossing, it is device introduced at the junction where two rail crosses each other to permit the wheel flanges of a railway vehicle to pass from one track to another. So from this arrangement you can understand, if the flanges of wheel or the wheel with flanges can easily pass with this configuration, easily can diverge, easily can converge from one line to another line, or diverge from one line to another line, or converge two line. So due to presence of this flange in the wheel, easily the our bogie or engine with its wheel configuration, the vehicle can go one line to another line. Because you can see the purpose of this wing rail, purpose of this throat, you can see one throat is also there. Okay, throat is also important in railway, throat. So wing rail is there, check rail is there, tongue rail is there. So lots of elements, lots of components are given in this turnout section to pass the train very smoothly one line to another, or to diverge from one line to another. These configurations are provided in railway. Also you can practice to draw this figure, or you can imagine how can a train from facing direction, facing direction to go this turnout section, or this branch line, or how can a train pass through this line, this straight line. Okay, and same time how can a train pass through this branch line only. So these are the important things in turnout. You should understand logically, you should practice to draw, you should understand how can a train can pass through this arrangement. Next is switches. Okay, this is the left hand switch, left hand turnout. Switches, a set of points or switches consists of with these constituents. In figure you can see a pair of stock rails. AB is the stock rail, and CD also stock rail made of medium manganese steel. A pair of tongue rails PQ, this PQ and RS, these are the tongue rail. AB, CD are the stock rail, PQ, RS are the tongue rail or switch rail, made of medium manganese steel to withstand wear. The tongue rails are machined to a very thin section to obtain snug fit with the stock rail. So normally these sharp face, is made of with some machines, some arrangement of railway engineering sections. They have some arrangement, or some machine vehicles are there to make these tongue rail very sharp, very narrow. Okay, these are normally normal rail. Normally what we have studied in our rail section, same rail, but these rail sections are converted in a sharp edge by using with the help of some machinery arrangement, machinery equipment. Okay, some machine vehicles are there, and day by day new machines are coming, new vehicles are coming with machine arrangements. So the details of the machines are not included in our syllabus. Just basic things which are normally till date are using, these are the important for our study. So a pair of tongue rails PQ and RS, also known as the switches, made of medium manganese steel to withstand wear. The tongue rails are machined to very thin section to obtain a snug fit with the stock rail. Okay, with the stock rail. The trapped end of the tongue rail is called the toe, and the thicker end is called the heel. This is the toe, this is the heel. Okay, this portion is heel, this portion is toe. A pair of heel blocks which hold the heel of the tongue rail is held at the standard clearance or distance from the stock rails. So this portion is fixed. This heel portion is fixed. Basically, this RS section, the RS section is movable, and PQ is the completely fixed, almost completely fixed. But this PR portion is portion. Okay, this PR portion can move from one place to another place. In the transverse direction, this PR portion can move. Okay, this P is the toe portion of this PQ tongue rail. This R is the toe portion of this RS tongue rail. Okay, and PR is fixed with plate. PR is fixed with a plate and can move in the transverse direction. Okay, and Q and S portion is completely fixed. However, this PQ is one tongue rail and RS is the another tongue rail, but this Q and S portion is completely fixed, and this PR portion can move together with this gauge tie plate. Already written here, this gauge tie plate can move in the transverse direction. So again I am repeating, a pair of heel blocks which hold the heel of the tongue rails is held at the standard clearance or distance from the stock rails. A number of slide chairs to support the tongue rail and enable its movement towards or away from the stock rails. Chairs is the clips normally which are used to fix the element in the railway. Two or more stretcher bars connecting both the tongue rail close to the toe for the purpose of holding them at a fixed distance from each other. Against stretcher bars also element or some component in the railway. A gauge tie plate. This gauge plate is the important for this switch section. A gauge tie plate to fix gauge and ensure correct gauge at points. So normally you can see lever box. There is lever box, pull rod. Some rod is there Now this is completely automatic. Digital system is introduced in India, so all these things are digitally is operated in India now. But earlier days some mechanical system was available. Mechanical systems are available, so that, but basic fundamental and basic mechanism is same. Rod is using to operate this gauge plate. If we want to go straight, then this PR portion or gauge type plate will come lower direction, and if we want to go from this branch line to main line, then this already the picture of the portion is given in this figure. Okay, you can see this PR plate or this gauge type plate is attached with this stock rail, AB stock rail. That means any train from the branch line go to the or can converge with this main line. And if we want to go straight from this trailing direction, then this PR gauge type plate should come in the lower direction. In this figure, in the lower direction. That's why easily can go the train in the through the this main line. And I am talking about the trailing directions. But if we or our vehicle, if our vehicle wants to go straight, okay, from the facing direction, from the left side, then this position, if we maintain this position, this PR gauge type plate attached with AB stock rail, then our train will go to the branch line, this CD line, go through this CD line. This CD is the stock rail, but this is also part of the branch line. And if the train wants to go through the straight line or main line, then this PR plate or this PR gauge type plate should come in the downward direction. With the help of this lever box and pull rod, these plates should come in the downward direction. Then only possible to go in this through this main line. Okay. This is the arrangement of the switch. This is actually switch. Switch is nothing. Switch is the key. Actually, one key which is used to operate this turnout. Okay, this operate this turnout. The switch is normally used. This is the toe of switch. This is the heel of switch. Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
सर अगर आपके पास कोई ग्राफिकली वीडियो होगा इसका स्विच का तो सर नेक्स्ट क्लास में
Okay. In the next class, I will show you the actual picture of the turnout and switches, and if possible, then I will show you some videos also. Okay.
ठीक है सर.
Okay. Acha. Next is types of switch. I think types of switch is not important for you. Lots of types are there. So types of switch is not important. Then important thing is crossing. Okay, crossing of frog is a device introduced at the point where two gauge faces cross each other. Okay, to permit the flanges of railway vehicles to pass from one track to another. Again, a crossing or frog. Another name of the crossing is frog. Okay, FROG, frog. A crossing or frog is a device introduced at a point where two gauge faces cross each other to permit the flanges of a railway vehicle to pass from one track to another. Okay, so this is another critical arrangement of railway crossing or the critical one of the critical elements of crossings. To achieve this objective, a gap is provided from throat to the nose of the crossing. Acha. The various names or various terms are there, like throat, left hand wing rail, cross angle, splice rail, flange way. But important is the same is facing direction, trailing direction, toe of crossing, heel of crossing, throat one of the important part in rails, for rails, left hand wing rail is always important, right hand wing rail. Okay, these are not important. So point rail, this cross angle is the a complete setup normally, which is made for the crossing. This cross angle which is made in the industry, or the various government industries are there to make these crossing angles, or railway industries are there to make these crossing angles, and it is completely ready-made things which will come from the industry direct in the site, in the railway site. So this is not important, but the setting out this throat, setting out this wing rail is important in the section, in this crossing section. In order to ensure that this flanges wheel negotiates the gap properly and does not strike the nose, the other wheel is guided with the help of check rails. A crossing consists of the some components shown in the figure. Acha. This is one of the picture, right? Types of crossing is important. Okay, types of crossings. In the types of crossings, the crossing may be some types like a acute angle or crossing, or V crossing, which the intersection of two gauge faces from acute angle. For example, when a right rail crosses the left rail, it makes an accurate crossing. Thus, unlike rail crossings from an acute crossings. And obtuse or diamond crossing, in which the two gauges face meet. And so in the next class, I think I will show the all this acute angle crossing, diamond crossing one of the important. I have seen diamond crossing in India, only in Nagpur it is available. I have done my BTech from Nagpur. I have seen the diamond crossing. So diamond crossing, acute angle crossing, square crossing, I'll show in the next class. The original the picture, or how can you identify what is acute angle, what is the diamond crossing, what is the how it is to see the what is the square crossing. So like that, this is important in crossing and turn off. And the theory portion, I think you should look in your books. Okay, you should follow your book, because theory portions are given in the book very well manner. So you should follow the book. I should stop here. Okay, just wait, I will take the attendance.